You are listening to Peak One Sports.
Welcome to the Peak One Sports Network Fight Night preview, brought to you by the Bungalow Sports Show. That's one of the last times I'm going to say that, because we got new names of brewing, my friend. We haven't been back since our live show. We've been missing a week here and there. The fight cards are that doesn't mean anything. We still do these for bad fight cards. Just been a lot of shit going on, and I think once I make it official in my head, once we get this name and it's a full-on podcast, we'll just make a night where we record every week, and it'll be we won't miss anymore. We'll make a kid-friendly schedule and just do it at night. And
yeah. Actually, I don't mind like taking breaks off of the really bad cards.
No. But there's always news and shit we could talk about that we are just texting each other back and forth.
Yeah, for like the past 3 weeks, we were doing that.
Yeah, because there's always stuff to talk about in this interesting sport of mixed martial arts. But welcome. Yeah, as I said, if you're watching this right now and you haven't gone on any of the Bungalow Sports Show or Peak One Sports social media, we have polls out for a couple or 3 options for show names. And if you're planning on tuning in live on the 29th for our Bungalow Fight Night Live, we're going to be choosing the new name. I'd like to say that it's going to be 100% based off of the polls, but maybe we'll get a wild hair up our ass and just decide we like one better than the other. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be live, so tune in. But the 3 options,
we'll see.
The 3 options I came up with and made logos for: the Fight Brothers podcast,
you mean the
Punch Brothers. I'm sorry, the Fight Brothers, the Punch Brothers podcast, the Bungalow Fight Show, and Alexis's 12 to 6 MMA podcast. All pretty decent logos that I made real quick. I just whipped them up real quick, and for all the effort I put in, God damn it, Bungalow Fight Show is far and away winning in all the polls.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I'm like,
that's why I suggested the bungalow choke, so you can we can generally make up a submission called the bungalow choke.
And like I said, we can always just pull a Hail Mary on the 29th, and and just.
But all three are good.
Want.
It's all good.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. You got a couple more weeks. I'll keep posting those things, so everybody better go out there and cast your vote now. And if you're not on Instagram and not hitting the poll on our stories, you can comment on Facebook, on Twitter, on what's the new one? Threads. I got it everywhere. Yeah. Peak One Sports. Go on there. They got it. Yeah. Just comment somewhere. I'll see it, and I'll add it to the tally. I just reposted the poll again today. So, but as far as yesterday's results, Bungalow Fight Show is far and away above. I guess that says something. If nothing else, it says that I've branded this thing well enough that people are just going to go bungalow this, bungalow that, bungalow this. So
yeah, I mean it's already household name, so
that's right.
Just keeping it.
Even though it's
Don't fix what ain't broke, right?
I guess you and I we're innovators, Alexis. We're progressive in our music and in life, so it's like we're always trying to do something different and better. You know what I mean? But like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And people seem to like the bungalow moniker, so if that's what it ends up being, that's what it does. But anyway, we got a new episode today.
Yeah.
We haven't talked since the live show, since the last pay-per-view, since 290, right? We didn't even.
Yeah.
And
we talked. Even though the cards were bad, we did tune in and we texted each other then.
No, that's what I always say. As much as Alexis and I like to complain about the quality of some of these cards, we're still watching them. We're still paying attention to the results. We're still, because as curmudgeonly as we get sometimes, it's like even some of these fights on these lesser cards, like they still have big time implications. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For what happens in the future in some of these divisions, obviously. And this last week's card, we don't have to go over it in detail, but it was the Holly Holm Buena Silva card. I went over it on Bungalow Sports Show a little bit.
I just want to talk about dude who fought JDM. That dude's
Hafez, dude.
Hafez, yeah, that dude's a beast, man.
Dude, he was one of the fights that I talked about on the show. I just picked a couple of different ones that were highlights of the card, and I highlight that one especially because Jack Della Maddalena is like so good, such a high end prospect. And granted, he made 2 weight cuts in 2 weeks. It was a different opponent on 5 days' notice. But that other guy just coming out of nowhere, getting his 5-day notice debut, and just wrestled the living shit out of JDM, dude.
Yeah, it was amazing, dude. I was super impressed by him. Like that's one of those things, like those crappy cards like that. Like there's one guy that's gonna stand out, and you're gonna watch him. So now he's on our radar for the next couple of fights. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a good trajectory.
The guy was so powerful and just so like his wrestling was just so undeniable. He was just one of those like you had no choice but to wrestle him. Like some guys can just weasel out of stuff real quick before you even have to tie up. But he was just so much pressure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he was getting touched up on the feet. Obviously, that's how JDM ended up pulling out the decision, was what he did when they were on the feet. But not a lot of people would have done that to him, given the style of fight that he was putting on JDM. You put that on most other people, they're broken in the first round. You know what I mean? So
that's true. Yes,
we'll see Hafez who they throw at him next, and then freaking Holly Holm. I mean. She's not. I said it on Bungalow Sports Show, Fight Show, whatever. One of these Bungalow shows. I said, like Holly Holm, like you haven't embarrassed yourself yet. You should just retire.
No. you know it's funny. So the news of Ngannou and Tyson Fury.
I said that too, that you and I were going to have to come on here and eat some crow because we both were saying he wasn't going to get shit.
I'm still on the fence. With my buddy Carl and I got another buddy Sean who's a jiu-jitsu practitioner that we have a group chat with. I sent the message like once it got like finalized. I'm like, I'm giving this to the MMA gods as sacrifices to take. So this fight can fall through, even though like it's still booked, it can still fall through. So my picks were Holly Holm to lose, Corey Sandhagen to lose, Dustin Poirier to lose, and Max Holloway to lose.
Okay.
So like you can take those losses and then that fight can fall through.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a little wishful thinking.
Right.
But Holly Holm lost, so the sacrifice is in session.
Yeah, and like I said, she hasn't gotten to the point where she's embarrassing out there. She's 41. Like, just hang it up and go coach somebody. You know what I mean? I mean, no matter who you are, and she, like you said, she had a Hall of Fame boxing career before she even got into MMA.
Yeah.
So it's like you got nothing else to prove. You've been champions in 2 different sports. You're Hall of Fame, and I mean, honestly, as far as women's MMA goes, she's a Hall of Famer too. You know what I mean? Just because
she is.
The kick heard around the world, man. She knocked out Ronda Rousey.
Well, here's my thing about her, right? So like, yes, she is older, but she has one of the biggest hype dreams that can be rejuvenated.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. She still got it.
Well marketable.
For sure. Yeah. But I just don't want to see her get Chuck Liddell. I think she just needs
to be more... Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, there's been some boxing matches that she's been in, and she's been horribly knocked out, like, bad.
Right.
I don't want to see that in UFC, but I think if she wants to continue her run in UFC, I think she needs to be a little more aggressive now.
Hey, dude, if Ronda... They're saying Ronda might be coming back. Let's have the rematch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'd kick her with the other foot.
But what I was saying, I don't get it because like she came back, I think 3 fights ago and showcased like some wrestling, like this new game that she has.
Yeah.
And like she has the skills to reinvent herself, but man, like I think what is it? It was a 145-pound division that she fought in, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what it was?
Wait, the other night? No, I think she went. Was it 45 or was it 35?
Bantam. I don't know.
Anyways,
it doesn't really matter.
All I'm saying is, as far as the rankings and like the top level in either of those weight classes in the UFC, Holly Holm is top 3. Like she's right up there still.
Yeah.
Right, but for how much longer? Like I said, she's 41 years old, and we all know in MMA, it's not a gradual decline. It is a freaking cliff. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like it takes one time getting her block kicked off, and it's like, is it worth it to go out there? It's like, no, I don't know, but I'm not a fighter. That's why I'm not a fighter. So she's gonna go out there.
I feel so like she got head kicked by Nunes, right? And then what is it? She got choked out. I'm not sure. Let me see. I really don't. I don't know what I can say because I really like Holly.
I do too. That's why I want her to retire.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's kind of tough.
Because it just gets to a certain point.
She has.
Where,
I don't know. She's still not. Yeah. She's winning up until she loses, and that's been the thing. Like they just catch her, and I feel like she should be privy to all of that. But Mayra Buenasil was no joke, no slouch either. Like,
that's what I'm saying is
we've been watching her. Yeah. We picked her in a couple fights to, win by submission.
And Holly's skills are up there.
I think it's the whole like the hype train, like what I said, like like her skills are up there. Her hype train, she's very marketable. Like once she gets some wins going, like boom, like you can really get that going and sell her off pretty quick.
Yeah, no, I mean the hype train's going to be there
for
forever.
The casuals. I would say, like, but for like other people, like people who actually watch the game, it's going to be a little different. They're going to have the same conversation that we're having. Like, you done what you've done. Right. We appreciate you, Holly.
Right. Right. And it's just like, how soon is that going to come? And it's like, how she can win her next fight and then lose her next fight and then win her next fight. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But, you could get knocked out real bad one more time and you might just be forced to quit. And do you want that to be your last showing? Like, that's the way I always think about it.
Yeah. And I don't think there's girls in the division unless it's like, I don't think there is very scary women now since Nunes left. There's going to be another one that's going to make back.
She knows all that.
Or she fight or
stuff
like
now.
Or this whole like this whole problem with the Bellator with all these free agent fighters that are coming off the Bellator list. Mm-hmm. We might get Cyborg back in the UFC.
True.
I don't know. We'll see how that plays out, but I think
we'll see.
I don't know. Let's give Holly one more fight. If she can come in and like put a stamp, if she can come back and put a stamp on it, get that like that knockout win that she won over Betch Correa, maybe I'll be like, yes, okay, Holly, we still got this.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
not mad either way,
Oh, we haven't talked about the light heavyweight situation.
Jamal Hill, man.
Yeah, I went over
that's
that
so
a little
bad.
bit. And the fact that he broke it playing a UFC basketball game.
Achilles rupture.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, that's so rough. So like if it's UFC thing, like that's all paid for by the UFC because it was a UFC event, right?
Well,
was it like televised or anything? Or
I don't know.
Or like some sort of like.
I kind of speaking out of my ass a little bit because it might not have been a UFC event. It might have been a Daniel Cormier event because I know that it just basically mentioned him in the thing, but it seemed like it was all UFC fighters. So I don't know.
That's so weird. I mean, I guess like you would like to like put these on, right, to get people to know like where is this airing? Like, was this supposed to air? Was it supposed to be on ESPN Plus? Because if like Daniel Cormier is putting it on, I'm sure he's in the right mindset. Like he was a fighter, he still coaches and all that stuff. Like he's not going to be putting on something like that can potentially cause an injury to damage someone's career or sideline them. You know?
Yeah.
With that being said,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
We got like a weird delay going on.
That belt is cursed, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
And like
the belt is cursed, man.
I know in other sports they have like clauses in contracts for like if you get hurt doing something outside of the sport that you're being paid to do, like we don't have to give you this money or avoid something or they have clauses saying you can't do this or that. Like there's been like baseball pitchers, you know what I mean? Baumgartner, like famously when he was a Giant, like he got into like an ATV accident or some shit like that and like hurt himself real bad. So like they have stuff in people's contracts saying you can't do this while you're under this contract. So I wouldn't be surprised, UFC being the UFC, that, you know, if it's not a UFC sanctioned event, we're not footing the bill.
Yeah.
You know, make DC foot the bill.
Either way, if they're footing the bill, like he's still out for a while. So that that's
that's just the money side, obviously. But I just meant, but the light heavyweight division. I mean, it kind of turns one of the fights on our Fight Night Live on the 29th on UFC 291. We got Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira, and that is either going to be for an interim or, be for the title. It hasn't been switched officially, but there was like some kind of leaked memo where it was being referenced as a 5-round fight. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but at least I think it'll be a title eliminator for who's going to fight Yuri Prohaska, maybe.
Yeah. Regardless, anyways, it's still a good matchup. I hope Jan just decides to bang. Like he has the wrestling. We have yet to see how good Pereira's wrestling is, but I just hope it's a stand-up fight. Like he mostly like stood up against Akalev,
right?
And like those, dude, it'd be amazing to see them both like kick each other. Like,
oh yeah,
like Alex has that great like that calf kick, and Jan just fucking kicks to the shins like a beast. So,
well, that'll
be a good one.
I think it really depends on like Jan, like how much of a show he wants to put on versus if he just wants to get that strap back. Because if the same game plan that worked against Izzy, even though Bahia is bigger, I think probably works against Bahia. You know what I mean? And then he can get his chance to figure out how to beat Yuri. But if he wants to go out there and put on a show, of course, he can stand with him, and those leg kicks will be thunderous. But if he implements the same game plan that he did against Izzy, I think he can beat him.
Yeah. But, yep, that'll be good to see. I'm excited for that matchup.
Yup. Tune in on the 29th because we'll be commenting on it live on the Peak One Sports YouTube channel. Any other headlines you want to go before we go over this fight card coming up this weekend?
There was okay, let's talk about so the rumors about PFL and buying out Bellator.
Oh yeah,
and then there's this whole thing. Michael Venom Page went on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour saying that he is a free agent fighter, and he says he's listed on the UFC's website as a fighter. So there's been a lot of rumors saying that Dana White is buying Bellator out of spite because of Francis Ngannou, and I don't think that's the case. I think that's more like Bellator went up to their fighters and like, hey, you guys can become free agents if you want to, or you guys can get grouped into the PFL. And I think a lot of these fighters would be like, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
You got AJ McKee, you got Patricio Pitbull, I'm pretty sure like Musashi's gonna take it. Like,
Oh yeah. Why wouldn't you?
who else? Michael Venom Page has already went out there. Dude, that'll be like a good influence. Like if UFC swallows all those free agents, like that is like
it's going to be a big influx
straight up
in the
like,
lighter weights, especially that a lot of their lighter weight guys are, comparable. You get up to the heavier weights, and it's kind of, you know what I mean. You've got a lot of UFC washouts that are.
You get we can get Yoel Romero back.
We get Yoel. We can get a 65-year-old Yoel Romero.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get heavyweight champ Ryan
Come on,
Bader.
that dude's still in the game, man.
Hey. You get Ryan Bader.
That guy can go to the PFL, dude. That dude's all juiced up on roids. He can go with the PFL roster with the roids takers and all that stuff.
Right. Well, the funny part about those heavier weights is that Ryan Bader already got beat up by John Jones. You know what I mean? At light heavyweight, and now he'd just have to get beat up by him at heavyweight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's some interesting stuff to see what ends up happening to the Bellator as an organization, and then what happens to their higher level fighters. Whether they, I believe what you said is what's happening. It's like stay on and get absorbed by the PFL, or go be a free agent and see if the UFC signs you or something like that, or ONE FC.
Yeah, because I think like it will cost some things like what we said, but it'll just be exciting. I mean, I would want to see Michael Venom Page, even though I don't think his style will do well in the UFC. Mm-hmm. I think it would bring enough eyes to and maybe he got something else in his game plan, But yeah, I would still like to see it instead of like newcomers that are 8-0 fighting like that. I want to see someone who's like has some fight experience. That fight like that.
Yep. So hopefully we get some good matchups out of that situation. All right, let's go. Let's hit this fight night. Aspinall versus Tybura. Come back at the O2 in London. The prelim card is. I'm sure there's going to be some good ones. We got Ketlin Vieira on the prelims. That's a good fight. We got Brian Barberena. On the prelims. We got Mark.
There's this one girl that stands out to me. Her name is Shauna Bannon.
Yeah.
If you see her hair, she's like super wild. She's a prospect from Ireland or whatever.
Right.
Everyone's picking her to win.
Yeah, she's got the infamous shadow over her face on the UFC website right now.
Okay. I'm looking at Tapology.
Yeah, no,
she's got this crazy like white Storm from X-Men looking hair.
Hell yeah. So interest wise, this prelim card is pretty good. I can't guarantee anything's going to be great, but like I said, we got at the top of it, we've got Mark DeCasey, Danny Roberts, Davey Grant, all in the involved in the 3 main fights on the prelims.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be pretty good to tune into. Those ones are prelims ESPN Plus. Is this whole this whole thing's ESPN Plus. Any prelim fights you want to go deep on before we move to that main card?
I think. Well, I was just gonna say. I'm gonna be watching Shauna, the Barberena fight and Muradov fight. I'm gonna pick Muradov to win because Brian Barberena, in my eyes, is only an old UFC beater.
Yeah.
So
no, he's good when you need an old guy to go out with a banger of a fight. You know what I mean? Win, lose, or draw, you put Brian Barberena in there just because he'll go out there and fight an old alley cat, dude.
Yeah.
Mark DeCasey's always a fun striker to watch.
He's good. I'm gonna be going for Davey Grant as well.
Yeah, Davey Grant. I like Davey Grant.
Danny, here's a good like weird mismatch. Like Danny Roberts versus Johnny Parsons. Like he's 18-7. Johnny Parsons is 8-3.
Right. That's a big experience.
Somehow
mismatch.
Tailored for for the English to win right there, you know?
Right. Dude, is this
But
one?
yeah, I mean,
Are we gonna have to
either
do
way.
a UK parlay, dude? Like, is there a UK parlay coming on? Because I mean, right there, DeCasey,
maybe
Roberts,
like if they're
Grant,
mismatched that bad.
DeCasey, Roberts, Grant.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's a good one.
Because I don't know Mick Parkin, but so if you go those three on the prelims, and then if you look at the matchups on the UK side on the main card, I mean, I don't know, that Kulabau fight, that Lerone Murphy Kulabau, which is the first fight on the main card. That one,
Yeah.
I kind of like Kulabau in that, but I mean, they're
pretty much even in that fight.
That's a pretty even fight. But if you're talking risking it on a UK parlay, why not throw Murphy in there?
Yeah.
Jai Herbert's always Fares Ziam.
That's still like those. Yeah, they're still a little too close. I think Ziam is tricky, man.
Right.
Ziam, like I've counted him out, and he's performed, and I've went for him, and he's
Right.
just like, and then lost the match.
But we're talking
feel-
UK parlay, dude. We're talking
Yeah,
UK parlay. You know, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like Jai Herbert, like they all have something to prove, right? Right.
I mean,
they have something to prove.
It seems like it happens every time they go to England, dude. Like the British guys and gals fucking show out. I don't know what it is. Paul Craig, who was part of that the infamous UK parlay that won me lots of money, he was part of that parlay. Paul Craig, he won it with a freaking triangle choke, I want to say, and he's going against Andre Muniz, who is a legit opponent here, but I feel like they want Paul Craig to win this fight. You know what I mean? I feel like the UK they're really setting up the UK guys to have a good shot at pulling off the sweep.
Yeah. Mate, yeah. I mean, I honestly am leading towards Muniz on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like Muniz got good striking, and
he's got good striking, but
good ground game.
But Paul Craig, he pulls out those submissions with like 2 seconds left in the third, and just like I feel like he's gonna get knocked down. Muniz is gonna go in for some ground and pound, and Paul Craig's gonna throw up a triangle. I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah,
though. Probably not. Though.
I would think that, but like with his last fight with Ozdemir, Ozdemir did not go to the ground with him. He's like, "Fuck that!"
Right.
And he just punched him, let him stand up again.
Right. But you
fuck,
gotta
man,
remember,
it's hard 'cause, like,
that was at light heavyweight. This is at middleweight. You know what I mean? This is his home court advantage, dude.
Yeah. So if this is at middleweight, so he should generally be bigger, right?
Well,
okay, asterisk.
Paul Craig
Craig
usually fights
asterisk.
at middleweight. You know what I mean? But he'll go up if need be, which was like the Ozdemir fight, and he has a handful of other fights where he went up and fought light heavyweight. But like his bread and butter is at middleweight, dude. And I think he fights those light heavyweight fights, gets kind of worked over because he's undersized. We lose some faith in him. He goes back down to middleweight, and then he surprises everybody. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
We'll see. But like I said, Muniz he's not a slouch. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just really trying to talk myself into this UK parlay right now.
Well, you know what? Okay. He can't lose twice, right?
I mean,
he can't lose twice. He can, but I mean, honestly, he's in his hometown. He's gonna show up in his like face paint and yell and be all about it.
Yeah,
Get
come
the
out
O2
Braveheart
arena
style.
pumped.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's gonna castrate himself on the way to the octagon just to be so he could be, more like Braveheart. Show how tough he is, dude.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Featherweight bout. Nathaniel Wood coming in hot for England against Andre Touchy-Feely. Always one of my favorite nicknames. But the problem here is this is a battle of names for me because obviously I always go there's a nickname I like better, I always lean towards that guy, and I do love Touchy-Feely. But Nathaniel Wood. I used to play roller hockey with a guy whose name was Nathan Wood. Okay, he used to go by Nate, and he literally the first time I saw this guy, he was playing against me, and he had his full name, Nate Wood, on the back of his jersey. It said Nate Wood. So I got to go with Nate Wood on this one. Nate Wood over touchy-feely, just because familiarity and keeping my UK parlay going. But I'm a fan of Andre Feely. I just don't think he's got it. I mean, I think he's going to stay where he's at forever.
He's got a lot of road wear on him.
Right.
It's been in some big battles.
He's been.
I'm not sure about Nathaniel Wood. I think I've seen a couple fights from him. Yeah, he's been knocked out a couple times. But I'm gonna lean towards Nathaniel Wood as well. Just because it's O2 Arena, right? We'll do this. We'll go with
old Nate Wood
with the English on here.
Hopefully, he puts his full name on his shorts, dude. It says Nate Wood on his shorts, like that dude I played hockey with. This next one, women's flyweight. This is the hardest one for me, because obviously I always want to go with Meatball Molly, but she's been her skill set has been shown now. You know what I mean? And
yes,
Stoliarenko. I mean, that's no gimme fight, dude, at all. This wasn't, some of Molly's fights, you could say, she hasn't been given any tuna cans, but it's like she's been given favorable matchups sometimes just because, her popularity and things like that, you think. But Stoliarenko, she ain't that, dude. This is going to be a tough fight for old Meatball Molly. And, but, UK parlay, bro. And she's the ultimate gamer. When you're going to say, it's in London, blah, 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 in their backyard, have that extra oomph. She is the person who gets jacked up for those kind of things. You see it. You see it in the fights where, I mean,
yes,
her and Patty Pimblett have been on multiple cards together, and they're best friends. And you just see it when they show the warm-ups, when you see the backstage stuff, the walkout, when they're in London. There's a big difference in her demeanor and how she fights. So I think that puts her over the top against old Julia.
Yeah. So my only beef with this is that why is this a co-main?
Because it's Meatball Molly.
If you look at Stoliarenko's 5 losses in the UFC, pretty much after this fight, she's gonna get cut.
Well, that goes against.
She's had a hard time.
That goes against everything I just said. That goes against everything I just said, and maybe they are serving her up to Molly because Molly is so popular. She's sponsored by Barstool Sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Stoliarenko is a good ground practitioner, and she's the submission specialist.
Right, and Molly's got a ground and pound.
Molly doesn't have no ground game.
She's got a ground and pound.
Molly's going to ground and pound you.
And get caught in a triangle? Get caught in an armbar?
Yes. And that's what happened to Jessica Rose Clark.
Right.
What is it? One of the prospects to come out of Australia and stuff like that. That's probably her only win in the UFC is Stoliarenko's win against
Jessica Rose Clark. Right.
So,
and it could happen the same way.
I don't know, man. If it goes to the ground, I'm going to be really scared. But if Molly knocks her out on her feet in that first round, it's good for her.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what's going to...
Cautiously say Molly wins.
Cautiously say Molly comes out. She's amped up. The crowd's out there. Ole, 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 ole. And she just freaking throws an overhand, clips her with it, takes her down, quick ground and pound, pull her off, fight over. Meatball Molly adds to my UK parlay. But the problem here, I'm torn again on this one. You want to know why? And that's because, you don't get to see too many Lithuanian fighters in the UFC. I mean, technically, Rose Namajunas is Lithuanian, but I mean, she's from Milwaukee. Julia Stoliarenko is from Lithuania, and the only reason I bring that up is because when I did my 23andMe, other than broadly English and Irish, my biggest percentage is Lithuanian. All right, so that's my Lithuanian sister right there. But
nice.
The my DNA, it does not outweigh the UK parlay. Okay, so I'm going Meatball Molly on that one too.
Yeah.
And
I would like to.
Yeah.
I like to add that. So like Julia, already off of 4 losses when she fought Jessica Rose Clark, her submission prop was plus 750, and I took it because off of some guy from Reddit was like, "Dude, take this prop, it's gonna hit," and it hit. It was ridiculous. So I mean, I think I'm gonna do both sides. I'll take the prop bet for Stolyarenko.
There you go.
But
that's smart better. If you're gonna hit up if you're gonna hit up the UK parlay, make sure you hedge some little props to that might dig you out of a hole that we might put you in. You know what I mean? Main event, another guy who is part of the infamous UK parlay, Tom Aspinall. He's had a place in my heart ever since. Going up against a weathered dog, Marcin Tybura, dude, and I think Tom Aspinall gets the. I think he gets the sub.
Yeah, like earlier when we were talking about like. Oh, go ahead.
No.
Oh, sorry, dude. We're
delayed. Yeah,
sorry.
We're delayed. It's fine.
No, but anyways, like the records don't really matter in this point because Tom Aspinall went up against someone who's well seasoned and put him out in the first round as the guy in Volkov, you know.
Right.
So
who I think is more dangerous than Tybura. I think Volkov's more dangerous than Tybura.
For sure. Yes,
and he's, Tom Aspinall's coming off an injury, and they're probably just like, take number 10, and then you can. This might be a title eliminator, for God's sakes, dude. I mean, if John goes in and beats Stipe and he's looking for some fresh faces, like, fight Tom Aspinall.
Okay, so if I can get you any more excited about Tom Aspinall is, I think, is Frank Mir 2.0.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like Frank Mir, younger Frank Mir. He's coming off of a pretty devastating injury, coming back. He's going to destroy. I think he has every aspects of being the Frank Mir 2.0, the crazy, devastating submissionist.
Yeah, big time, dude. And I think Marcin is just cannon fodder. I think everybody knows it. He doesn't know it. He thinks he's going to go out there and knock him out, but he's not. He's going to get taken down. He's going to get submitted, probably in the first round. So if that's another little prop sprinkle you want to put on your day, I think Tom Aspinall submission. I think under 1.5. I think I doesn't go the distance. All those are good prop bets on this fight.
Yeah, but we'll do some MMA math here. So Marcin Tybura's last fight was against Blagojev Ivanov, or Igor. Yeah, the guy that always
Ivanov.
Yeah, he should not be fighting in the UFC, but he still is.
Guy looks like he should be changing your tires.
Yeah.
Wearing those, wearing the mechanic blue coveralls that they come and pick up and wash for you and bring back once a week and all that.
Charging you for a brand new set, but putting on retreaded tires for you.
Yeah.
That's that guy. He took him to decision, man.
Right. And that says a lot. So, you're going up against Tom Aspinall now. I think it's a short night for Marcin Tybura. So, I mean, to go back on it, dude, maybe I think definitely a Paul Craig, Nate Wood, Molly McCann, Tom Aspinall parlay is good. If you think, because that Ferez against Jai Herbert, that just one's too up in the air for me in the striking department. You know what I mean? Like, that could go either way. I think Davey Grant is a good bet to add to your parlay. Your Danny Roberts.
Danny Roberts for sure. I think what they say, Danny Roberts is the lock.
Right.
The lock.
So I think my UK parlay is going to be Aspinall, McCann, Wood, Craig. I'm going to skip Jai Herbert and Lerone Murphy, and I'm going to add in Danny Roberts and Davey Grant instead of those two. And that'll give me a 6-fight parlay. That's 6 fights. Yeah, that's 6 fights. That's big money if you can pull that shit off. And
the fight against Bruna Brazil and Shauna Bannon, is Shauna a dog, right? She's a dog in that fight.
Shauna, they don't have odds up on here for that. They don't even, like I said, she's got the ghost picture. She doesn't even have a real picture on here. They don't have a record. They don't have anything on here.
Okay, so Shauna's 5-0.
Right. Okay.
But
there you go.
but everybody, like, she's like hot prospect. Everybody on Tapology is like, Shauna, oh my god.
Right.
And so I'm gonna follow that. That if she's a dog, I'm gonna pick her. If she's not a dog, then that 5-0 is too risky versus 8-3.
Of course.
You know. If she's a dog, I'm going with her.
Shauna Bannon. That's the prelim dog pick right there. If she's a dog, we haven't checked. That's how much research we do on this show. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Let me show you. Look at that storm hair.
Oh, there she is, right there. Bam. Yep. Couple losses. You get to
She's
see
an
her
X-Men,
on
bro.
OnlyFans. You get to see her on OnlyFans after a few losses.
I was just talking about. She reminded me of Storm from X-Men.
That's funny. Right before I came in here,
I'll take that too.
Andy and I were playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and I was playing as Storm, dude. So,
oh, nice.
Maybe it's a sign. I have to bet on her now.
Nice.
But all right, well that's good for this show. All right, but remember, mark your calendars. July 29th, UFC 291. We're doing a live Bungalow Fight Night. We'll be right here in the bungalow watching the UFC, live streaming on YouTube.
Talking some crap. Talking some inside stories.
There'll probably be some animal products on the grill, and we're just gonna have a good time. So mark your calendars for that. Hopefully, we'll have a show next week, and we definitely are gonna have a show next week because we're gonna have to plug the crap out of the live event that will be happening 2 days after.
Yes.
So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Alexis for joining me, and we'll talk. Enjoy the fights. We'll talk to you next week.